I hope y'all enjoy the vibes. I'm about to do a top 10 golfers of all time list. So, thank you for showing up as we play Wii Golf music in the background. So, a few things I want to get away with this list. It's not exactly one for one who has the most majors, but it kinda is. And if you all have any golfers that you prefer to be higher in this list or lower in this list, just let me know in the comments below. Please remember to subscribe. It's really important as we're nearing 100 subscribers. Without further ado, here comes my list. Starting with number 10, Phil Mickelson, who won 6 majors. The only major he's missing is the U.S. Open, but he finished second place 6 times at the U.S. Open, sadly. But, you know, Phil was a guy that I always rooted for, and I was so happy to see him win the 2004 Masters. It's still one of my favorite shots ever, is that putt, and then he leaps in the air. After that, the man went on to win 5 more majors, including at the ripe old age of 50, or 51 even, I don't remember, when he won his last at the PGA Championship. Phil has always been my personal favorite golfer. I've always rooted for him the most. It's sad to see that, you know, he's aged out of it now. But, man, what an era we lived in. And there's definitely somebody else on this list, too, that contributed to this era of golf. Between the late 90s through the 2000s and the 2010s. Number 9 on the list, Sam Snead, with 7 majors. He also has tied with Tiger Woods for the most PGA Tour victories, so he won a lot of minor tournaments as well. So, got to give it up to Sam Snead. Number 9 on the list. Number 8 on the list, Arnold Palmer, with 7 majors. I remember seeing Arnold Palmer at his very last Masters. Being old as fuck, but everybody revered him. He honestly put golf on the map, like popularity-wise on television as well. You know, 4-time Master champion. And that's where I always remember Arnold Palmer from. Is what he's done at the Masters. But, which is my personal favorite golf event. I think it's the best major in golf. I know there's hardened defenders of the British Open and the U.S. Open that would disagree. Nobody would say the PGA, but the Masters to me is the greatest golf tournament. I take a lot of stock into that one. A lot because it's all in the same location every year, Augusta, Georgia. And Arnold Palmer was one of the greats. And that's why he's number 8 on the list. Number 7 on the list, though, is Gene Sarazen with 7 majors, but he is the first of 5 male golfers that won all 4 majors in his career. A very rare feat, more rare than in tennis. So Gene Sarazen with 7 majors, but throughout all 4 of the majors, won at least 1. Number 6 on the list, Tom Watson with 8 majors. Boy, I have a Tom Watson story. So yes, I did not grow up when Tom Watson was great, but there was a British Open where he was like 60 years old and he almost won the thing. Tom Watson, you know, truly a great golfer, and that is why he is number 6 on the list. Number 5, and another golfer who won all 4 majors, Ben Hogan with 9 majors. You can't tell the story of golf without Ben Hogan. Number 4 on the list, Gary Player with 9 majors, and he also won at all 4 majors. And he's the only non-American to be in the top 10. He is from South Africa. Gary Player, the greatest non-U.S. golfer of all time, at number 4 on my list. Number 3, Walter Hagen with 11 majors. I'm not going to lie, it was before my time. I haven't watched a whole lot of Walter Hagen highlights, if you know what I mean. There were a lot of golfers in that era who racked up some major wins, like Harry Vardon or whatever, that did not make the list. But I had to give it up to Walter Hagen because he did win at multiple majors. And if I got to give it to somebody that's from the way, way, way back era, I'll give it to the man that has the third most majors and give him the number 3 spot. But now we get down to the nitty-gritty. Who's number 1? Who's number 2? This is another great debate, much like LeBron versus Jordan. Much like Nadal versus Djokovic. Keep it simple when you do this debate. Keep it real simple. Number 2 is Tiger Woods, and I'll tell you why Jack's number 1 here in a minute. Tiger Woods, 15 majors. Obviously, he's won at all 4 locations. Always chasing the shadow of Jack. He'll never catch him now. But in my era, super dominant. And it was really nice to see him win that last major back in like 2019, I believe it was. When nobody expected him to win in his older age. And he was able to pull it off. Truly great. A lot of people will argue he's the GOAT. I will not. I think that is very era biased to say so. Because number 1 on my list has 18 majors and 6 Masters and has won in all locations. Jack Nicklaus. Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear, also had a Tiger Woods-like moment, but in 1986, where everybody thought he was done, and he won anyway. He faced great players in his era, like Arnold Palmer, and a lot of the players on this list, like Gary Player and Tom Watson. He faced them all down, and he won the most. And probably what was the greatest era of golf was actually probably back then in the 70s and 80s. And Jack was the guy. The guy. 60s, 70s mostly. So to me, Jack, the Golden Bear, is number 1 on the list. And you can't tell me otherwise. Especially if you've seen that viral video of him making a super long putt recently. That was hilarious. Quite a character for sure. Anyway, guys, what do you think of my list? Hope I did good for y'all. I'll catch you in the next video. But for now, peace. I'm out. I'm going to go work on my golf game.